Morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this is hitting your ear holes. I hope that it is good. I
But I
guarantee
don't
that
really dance at all. So
you're not a dancer.
no.
No, you don't. You don't. You're not one of the people. You're one of the people who sit down. You don't get on the dance floor and shake your little judgmentalist.
Not really. No.
I keep saying I want to be a line dance instructor. No, I am a line dance instructor. Why? Because I've done it 3 times. If you do something 3 times and you do it pretty well, you are that thing.
Which, mind you, is a totally different company than Disneyland in California. But,
Right.
you know, it all stems from the top. But as far as the corporate structure is concerned, who gives a shit about this? Why am I talking about it?
Widen the keyhole.
Yeah.
That
Well,
sounds a lot dirtier than it actually is.
you
Come here,
know, we
girl.
can take it however you want, you
Let
know?
me widen your keyhole.
I think you've got that confused with widening your. We don't need to do the 1, 2, 3 clap because there's a couple little spots of the clap in there.
Right, yeah. If we needed to sync our vocals, we would just clap on the beat.
Yeah, that's it. What is up, big sexy world travelers? This is Judgmentalist coming at you with some magic, some Mardi Gras, some mail, and more. Yep, we got a lot to get into. I am just back from a trip. Big Sexy's been celebrating Mardi Gras and doing some line dancing, and we got some listener mail, as I alluded to. And then you know how this works. We're just going to get into whatever shenanigans we happen to get into. Here's your host, Big Sexy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this is hitting your ear holes. I hope that it is good. Yes, welcome back to Big Sexy Digital Nomad. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. If you're brand new here, welcome. Welcome to the community. Shout out. I hope this is a fun episode for you. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. We never know.
Hey, I just got back from the most magical place on earth. How can this not be a fun episode?
It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. Definitely much more upbeat than our last episode. I'll tell you that much. I'm back in a happier groove. And it's enjoyable. But yeah, as you alluded to, so let's work our way a little bit way backwards. So Saturday, as of this recording, the previous Saturday, I did go to a soul line dancing event. I don't know if I've been telling you, I started teaching and learning soul line dancing. Doing like the wobble and the electric slide and Cupid shuffle, and then all the other more extenuous line dance. It's a big thing. Line dances that exist out there. And every Monday and Wednesday, I go to a class nearby, and it's in the morning. And you know how much I hate mornings, but I get my ass up and I go to class and I learn these dances. And so this past Saturday, there was a big line dance event in Pomona that was a Mardi Gras event. It was hosted by another line dance company, a group that is here in Riverside. The one I go to Monday and Wednesday is in Moreno Valley, which is the city next door. For those who don't know shit about the Inland Empire, which is a lot of people. Riverside is the city I'm currently in, and Moreno Valley is the city next door. So I go to Moreno Valley Monday and Wednesday. But there's a group here based in Riverside and a lot of other places called Heart and Soul. And they have little schools all over the Inland Empire. But they sponsored an event for Mardi Gras in Pomona, and I went to the event. Last year I went with me and my mom. This year my mom didn't go. It was just me. But by now I've made enough friends, and so I was able to sit down with people. And basically what they do, they have a playlist, and they just go through the different songs, and they call out what dance it is. And if you know the dance, you go up. If you don't know the dance, you can either sit down or get up and try to learn it on the spot. I'm a learn it on the spot kind of dude. And by the time the song is just about wrapping up, I usually have it down.
And one of these is called the wobble.
One of the they don't ever play the wobble at these. It's the wobble is too formulaic. It's too well known, if you will. It's
I'm learning about this for the first
too
time
easy.
to let you know how
Really?
well known the wobble is. Yes.
You don't know the wobble? You don't. When's the last time you've been to a wedding?
A year or so.
Yeah,
I'm
and
actually doing hypnosis at a wedding in a month, but that doesn't count because that's in the
and
future.
they didn't play the wobble for the dance, or at least like the electric slide or the Cupid shuffle.
All right, so the Cupid shuffle I've heard of, the electric slide I believe is actually widely known.
Yes,
Um,
the wobble is a third on that list. Like if I went in order of what the most widely known line dances are, it
maybe if I
kind of
heard it, I'd be like,
yeah.
oh, it's that.
What is it? You get 10 seconds, 16 seconds of a song before you have to cut it off before they cut your shit out. And I had that happen in one of our bonus episodes. I did
Really?
yeah, for when I re-released Tori's bonus episode. Apparently, when I did the video for it, I have video of us dancing on board the ship, and apparently I didn't mute that video, so it's playing music in the background, which I didn't know because I've recently up my editing prowess. Back then, I just popped it in and let it go,
Yeah.
and I put it on YouTube, and suddenly it was I got notification that this video is being suppressed because it contains copywritten music. And unless I show that I have access, I'm like, what copywritten music? We don't use copywritten music. All the music we use was given to us, right? Or we use little clips of. And so I had to go back and watch the video. And then when it came to that part, I went, oh, okay. So then I had to go back in, mute that one video clip that I had that was playing over the interview, and then re-release it re-release it, change it up so that it would be flagged by YouTube, which is one of the things that made me go, okay, if I'm gonna do this editing, I really got to take this editing thing seriously. Yeah.
Well, between now and episode 80.
Well, just saying that's 2 episodes away.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, I gotta do this I gotta learn this kind of shit within 2 weeks. All right, this is the wobble, and I'll play just a tiny bit of it. Sound familiar? Oops, stop.
I feel like I'm hearing it for the very first time.
Yeah, let's see if I can get into the. Here.
I'm a pro, make you bend your back load and the pound of real bad to like the percolate. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble,
Anything?
No, really?
All right, that's enough. All right, I don't want to get flagged. Okay, well, yeah. So that's the wobble. So that is one of the third. My understanding that one of the third most popular line dances. You know how I know it's popular? It's a soul line dance because it's by an artist I don't know who kind of looks like Lil Wayne, but white people know the dance.
Well,
Yeah.
most white people, I guess, because this one doesn't.
Well, most white people, yeah. But look, I mean, in general, I guarantee
I don't
that
really dance at all. So
you're not a dancer.
no.
No, you don't. You don't. You're not one of the people. You're one of the people who sit down. You don't get out on the dance floor and shake your little judgmentalist.
Not really. No.
No. Well, why not?
It's just not my thing. I don't know. It's never been my thing.
Interesting. I'm a dancer. I'm an entertainer. So, song, dance, act, like that's the whole part of the kit and caboodle. But I'm definitely a person who gets out on the dance floor, and I'm noticeable on the dance floor because I get out there and I have a great time. There's been many a wedding when I've had to show the wedding party how to do the wobble. That let me know that I can teach line dancing. So that's one of the things I've done. I keep saying I want to be a line dance instructor. No, I am a line dance instructor. Why? Because I've done it 3 times. If you do something 3 times and you do it pretty well, you are that thing. It's as easy as that.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. If you do it 3 times and do it. And so, matter of fact, I had this conversation with somebody at the line dance class who, we're going through the class and we're doing the dances, and she's really good. Shout out to Wanda. And we're doing the line dance class, and then she goes, because, man, I'm not a dancer. I said, no, you are a dancer. She goes, no, I'm a singer and this and that. I perform. I said, but I'm not really a dancer. And I said, here's the deal. You've done it. You're doing it now. You've done it over three times. You're a dancer. You're just working on perfecting what you're doing. But
Oh,
you're
for
definitely
sure.
a dancer.
I mean, me being a hypnotist, I've done well more than 3 shows at this point, obviously, but I will say that it's super important to continue that knowledge,
Right.
because there are things that early on into learning this art that I said on this podcast, which I wouldn't say today. Like I mentioned, and I can't, there's no way I'll remember when or be able to even place it within an episode. But we talked about potentially doing something where we would set up some sort of a venue, possibly over there in Spain, and I would do a show, and that there would potentially be limitations to my ability to get people into trance and into hypnosis
Right. I remember
with a
that
language
conversation.
barrier. I wouldn't make those same statements today.
Interesting. You've been able to figure out a way to surpass the language barrier issue, or did you happen to learn Spanish?
Well, I know a little bit of Spanish, but I wouldn't do an induction in Spanish. I've learned, and I would say I've widened the keyhole a little bit as I'm continuing to look into this world of hypnosis. And one of the great things about it for me,
That's a very interesting. Widen the keyhole.
yeah.
That
Well,
sounds a lot dirtier than it actually is.
well,
Come here,
we
girl.
can take it however you want,
Let me widen your keyhole.
I think you've got that confused with widening your. Never mind.
Right.
Um, yes,
I'm saying you've been able to.
I've learned a lot more, but I know
Right.
that there is still so much more out there to learn, and it is incredibly intriguing. I have got a colleague that has offered. Let me see if I want to read the message exactly as it was sent to me a few weeks ago, if I can find it. And this won't be too much of a diversion. But as far as like different ways to do inductions, and this is a guy that was there when I first learned the stage stuff, and has where he's from, there's a lot of street hypnosis that people do.
You mentioned this a
It's
lot,
got,
yeah.
yeah, a lot
Yeah.
more of it. A couple weeks ago, he sends me this message. Where is it? I really want to be able to read it word for word, because it's going to the way that it's going to relay my intrigue with this to everybody else here. If I can find this shit.
Well, while you're looking for it, I can spark my own personal journey with the whole concept of if you do something, call yourself that. We
Yeah,
all know that
please.
I'm writing a musical. I am currently
Yes.
writing a musical. I have written plays. I've written one-act performances. I have written sketches. I write poetry. I write parody songs. And for the longest time, I would keep saying, yeah, but I'm not a writer. And I realized that the reason I was saying that, the image I have in my head of what a writer is someone who sits down and they're just typing away and they're just going furiously at it, and they're writing, they have pages and pages of books, and they have they're all these other journey, and they have written long playwrights and long plays and things of that nature. And so I was saying, well, I don't have any of that, so I'm not that. Well, I'm wrong, because, and I can admit when I'm wrong. I can say it. I'm not afraid of being wrong. And the reason I'm not afraid of being wrong, because I hardly ever am. Usually right. But this time I was wrong. This time I realized, no, I have to start saying I am a writer. I am learning, and I'm a learning writer. I'm always a work in progress. Always be a work in progress, right? Always widen your
Always.
keyhole. I am learning how to write a full-length play. I've never done it before. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. I didn't really think it was going to be too easy, but I thought I could do it since I've written one acts and I've written sketches. I figured I can put those together. I am struggling with that, so I'm learning how to do that. I'm also learning how to collaborate. That's the thing. But collaborating is more difficult because you're relying on somebody else, and that shit's hard because nobody else is going to wake up with your passion, right? That's just not going to happen. Nobody else is going to. So you gotta be able to move forward. If you can get help, great. If not, you got to be able to continue moving forward. Like I've reached out to several different people to help me with my musical. A bunch of people who said they were really interested and really want to help and had ideas, and this musical still isn't written. And I'm still writing songs for it, and I'm still putting things together, and I'm still tweaking scenes and writing out character descriptions and dialogue and trying to get this whole thing up and running so that, I want to at least have this one full length musical up, produced, and made so that I can say, well, you know what I did? I did write a full length musical, and it could take off. It could blow up. It could fizzle out and die like a bunch of other things, but it could also be huge and big. I think the concept is great. I think it's a wonderful concept, and everybody I've told it seems to think it's a wonderful concept. What I want now is proof of concept. I want to do it, and I want to create it, and I want to put it out there. And have I stalled long enough for you to find?
Oh yeah. I've had that for a little while.
Okay, good. So
but you were going, and I wasn't going to interrupt
I really was going. Yes, and I meant it. And as I was coming to a head, I want to be sure that I didn't have to continue going.
I will say that I don't say this because there are ways that I will say this that will make it sound like I at one point in time had a falling out with the community theater that I started Elkton Magic from, which was never the case. My moving away from doing most of our shows there was due to them losing their space. They've now solidified and secured their space for the next 5 years. I have helped them in securing the rights to the next 5 plays that they're going to do. That way they can announce an entire season.
Nice.
I've got enough pull with them that if you needed a place to put this on, it's right here.
Okay.
Venue wise.
Oh, good. Well, so once I have this up and running, it's okay. Let's get a little behind the scene action here. All right, so I am working on 2 things, 2 projects simultaneously, and I'm at different stages with both projects. So the first project is closer in line to what we're doing here. It's cruise ship based. I have an improv show that I have fully written. That is done. I need to get it produced and filmed so I can send that reel to production companies that send shows to cruise ships so that they can send that show to a cruise ship or cruise ship line. And then those cruise ships will invite me on as a director to help direct the show and put the show up. And what I'm looking for now, like where I'm in that journey right now, is finding performers, who are willing to do this. And again, I don't have any money, so like willing to do this to help a brother out, to get together for the love of the craft, for the love of the art, to get this up and then film it so that I can edit it and put it together and get that sent off to places.
What do you need for that? Is it like an improv troupe that you would?
I need basically what I need are people who can sing. Right. People who can do musical improv.
Okay.
Right. Because the concept is, and this is the elevator pitch for it, there are 2 groups. One group does your standardized improv, your scene work improv, and another one does musical improv. Right. They're like, my initial concept was freestyle rappers and people who do improv. And they battle to see which one's harder to do. and they agree to try the other style. So the improvisers try to do freestyle rhyming, and then the freestyle rhymers try to do scene work and craft work. They come to realization that both have their different difficulties and easier and but still the love of the format. They get back together, they join one big group, and then the overall scene is there is a talent show, right? And they decide to join forces and enter the talent show together as one group and perform scene work and song work all within the show. That's the elevator pitch. The first act is mostly scripted with a little bit of improv. The second act is about half and half, and then the third act is almost completely improvised. So
I'll
that
keep my head on a swivel for this.
If it's on a cruise ship, especially long, like transatlantic cruises or 30-day cruises or longer cruises, you can put that show up as many times as you want in your smaller theater space on board because the show changes every time.
Every time, right?
Right. And so your audience won't get bored with it. You only need the same 4 performers. You could do it as an earlier show that those four to 6 performers can also be your performers for the night show. So they have a little extra work that they're doing, but it's not, but they need to be able to do that. Or they're just hired entertainers who can do that. You know what I mean? That the hiring and the casting is not my problem. You guys figure that out. But I set it up so that it's easier to do that. And if they need somebody to come on and teach people how to do improv, I can do that. I can teach improv. So that's project number 1, and that one's called Whose Rhyme Is It? Right, or Whose Rhyme Is It Anyway? The second project, of course, is my full-length musical, the Reservate This, the call center musical. I'm still in the writing stages because I still have to write out the scenes for the entire play. I have the skeleton broken down. I have the scenes, some of them written out. I kind of have an arc. I know where the story's going. It's the devil's in the details, the fleshing out all of the intricacies and the storylines and the story arcs. I have a hard time doing that across such a large story. Right. I think in vignettes. So right now the play is a bunch of little scenes.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily all mesh together. So what I'm looking for there is a collaborator who knows how to write those kind of stories, and that we can work together and piece this together into one overall story. And again, I met some people who say they want to write, they take a look at it, and then I don't hear anything forever, and I get back, hey, what's going on? You interested? Da, da, da. Oh yeah, and then I don't hear anything. It's like, okay, I can't keep chasing people. Right. I can't keep waiting for other people. So I'm also going to start. I'm starting to take some playwriting classes to get my mindset. I'm thinking about redoing Masterclass. A lot of it because of Penn Sunday School, because Masterclass is a sponsor of Penn Sunday School. Shout out to our granddaddy. And
I don't have a keyboard here to do the thing.
Oh, I have a keyboard. I can do the thing.
Hey, buddy, nice podcast.
No, that's not the thing. I was talking about the little, like an actual
the trill upon the keyboard every time you say Masterclass. Oh, I was thinking because that's
hey, buddy, nice podcast.
That's Penn's voice, and so that's about as close as I can get to talking about Penn. And the Masterclass. There we go. Just have to do it with the mouth.
But instead of telling people to go to masterclass.com/pen, I think we should probably tell them to go to cruisehabit.com/bigsexynomad.
There you go.
That's what we really want to plug here.
Yes, and
that was a spot for a plug, but we don't, segues are fluid here, so whatever.
We segues. That's what we do here. That's we're masters of the segue. I realize what we need is, and that we have it coming. We need to have a cruisehabit.com drop. We need to get Billy. Oh, that's what I need to do. I'm gonna tell Billy he needs to send us a drop of either him saying cruisehabit.com or, hey folks, go to cruisehabit.com. bitches or something, I don't know what.
Bitches.
but something that fits, I'm gonna make Billy say that. I
That
just want to hear him say
is a
cruise.
drop that you won't get on the podcast. You need to surreptitiously get that on a cruise with Billy with a drink in his hand.
Yes.
That's where
Yeah.
that one comes from.
Yeah. We need to cruise. Definitely. Yeah. I want him to say cruisehabit.com. Bitches. With a drink in hand. And we're definitely going to get that drop. Stay tuned, listeners. That drop's coming. Now, so before we go too far on that, so you, good sir, recently took a trip. You said you took a trip to the Magic Kingdom?
Let me just read this text real quick.
Oh, right. Right, we still haven't gotten to the text yet.
And listen, because we got mail that we will both want to get to. So if this turns into I went to Disney World for a couple of days, then boom, we just had that part of the conversation. If we get more of it, great. That's cool too. So I get this text. Like I said, this is a guy that originally took the stage course with me last year, June. But because of the environment that he's in, kind of gravitated more towards street stuff. I know he does some of this stage stuff as well. But his TikTok is completely filled with him doing street hypnosis. He sends me this message. How would you like someone to just look at you for 20 seconds and go into hypnosis? I learned a new induction today. To which, of course, I respond, sure, why the hell not? Now, we haven't gotten to the breakdown of what that is, but I'm constantly reading more and more about this, and just like I mentioned before, trying to expand the Keyhole, Key, just to make sure that there's absolute clarity here. Because, dude, I saw a reel earlier today. Speaking of no segues here, it had a list like printed on it of like 6 or 7 different phrases. And then the audio in the background says all of them. Not back to back to back to back. But like if you click this reel and focus on one of those words, that's what you'll hear. If you focus on a different one of the phrases, same sound clip, that's what you'll hear. Like, I don't know if you remember.
Interesting.
Like, everybody remembers the blue dress, gold dress visual thing, right?
Right.
And then sometime after Laurel was this audio thing that came out where it sounded like 2 different things. This fucking clip sounds like 7 different things. And you literally watch and focus your eyes on a different one of the phrases, and I fucking swear to you, it will sound like whichever one you're focused on. It's wild as shit.
Is the audio like blended? Somebody is saying each phrase simultaneously, so it's just one sound clip. So
I think it's more of like regional accent type of things. So it's the same phrase, but as long as you're looking like you've seen these pictures, these posters that are out there with like, they'll say red, blue, green, orange, and then some of them have different colors.
Right.
And your mind gets fucked by saying the color that you see, but you read the word.
The word is red. The color
is
that
pink.
The letters are orange.
Right.
So
this is kind of like that, where it takes advantage of the crossover between in the relationship of your audio and visual sort of stuff. And why I didn't take this and forward this to you is blowing my fucking mind now, because it's kind of
never find it again.
Because I'll never find it again. And when I do, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send it to myself. I'm going to send it to somebody else, just to make sure that it gets out there. But
listeners, if you see this reel, send it to us.
So I've been, I've been reading and absorbing as much as I possibly can within the context of hypnosis.
Okay.
Clinical, stage, everywhere in between. A lot of it is more driven toward the psychology and, and the science of it, which none of which is directly translating into the stage show itself directly yet, but it's all just solidifying the backbone of what it is that I'm doing before we get to the skits. It's going to help me keep people where they need to be, get people deeper, really just have a greater understanding of what's going on. And, and I've definitely read some stuff about more and more, and this is going to sound sketchy, but covert ways to hypnotize people without them necessarily knowing that you're doing it.
Right.
And the whole visual thing is definitely part of that. So I have, like I said, I have not powwowed with him yet to kind of put this into practical terms of exactly what he's doing, but I've read things and studied things that suggest the existence of some things like that. So it's kind of a wild thing. And I'm interested to have that conversation with him at some point in time. I've been, as we mentioned, I have been traveling a bit recently. I have some more travel coming up because next Monday, from the time that we are dropping this, I will be doing a show in Atlanta. So that is the 25th. It's a Georgia Tech campus. Consequently, next Monday will also be the drop dead date for any submissions from you guys, whether that be signing up for the Patreon or emailing us, any sort of interaction like that gets you entered into the Whiskey Barbecue drawing, because we're going to record episode 80 before the Wednesday that it drops. We're going to try to live stream this, but again, that's probably going to happen the Thursday before. So we need to not only have all the submissions in, but it's going to be work because of the wide breadth that we've given you guys to get involved in that contest, for us to be able to tabulate and accumulate all of the names to go onto the drawing wheel.
Let's just say this. So the 25th is the deadline. I'm going to be busy as shit on the 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also, if you know anybody that's in the Atlanta area, tell them to go to betweentwominds.com. If there are still tickets left to that show, have them come out and see it. It's probably the furthest away from home to date that we have done that show. But hopefully it's
nice.
It doesn't stay that way for very long. But yeah, I came back from Disney World, the most magical place on earth.
Did you have a magical time?
For the most part, yeah. I had a nasty sinus infection that I took down there with me, which, if you've ever had a sinus infection and got on an airplane, you know how much fun that is.
It's not too long of a flight, but still, Jesus.
No, but it's still every little bit. It
sucks.
It took me about 2 days into it to fully kick that, but my sister-in-law lives down there now. So we spent 2 nights staying at her place, 2 nights on Disney property. And
which two campuses did you go to?
Well, we went to the parks 3 of the 4 days that we were down there.
Okay. Did you do one different park each day, or just like one park 3 days? Or
no, we started in Epcot, and my wife is a big like Disney pin trader.
Okay, so that's the pin.
There's like a huge kind of subset of Disney fans that are into the pin trading. The thing,
I'm so glad I didn't get involved in that. Oh my God, as with my collector mentality and my borderline hoarding mentality, I'd be fucked if I was a Disney
you would have
pin collector.
Probably had the ability to sell your entire collection if you could bring yourself to it and fund your entire European journey. Because people who really get deep into this, and there's a ton of value in these collections. Now, she's been collecting this stuff since the late 90s, when they started putting these pins out. So 20 couple years, and has a ridiculous collection. And a lot of what she does is trade with other people who have pins. So like the pin trading through COVID all but died for a little while, and
Right, that
then
makes sense.
has recently revitalized. And I will say that it used to be that all of the people that worked in Disney World, the Florida side, which mind you is a totally different company than Disneyland in California, but
Right.
it all stems from the top. But as far as the corporate structure is concerned, who gives a shit about this? Why am I talking about it? Yeah, take that clip out and put it onto a reel, and then just plop it in anywhere. It's your new drop. Who gives a shit about this? Why am I talking about it? The fuck they used to every single cast member, which is the verbiage for people who work there, would have a lanyard or a little thing on their belt that would have Disney pins on. And any time you could just go up to them and be like, hey, let me see your pins. And you could trade one for one. As long as you had an actual Disney pin, there was no, okay, I'll do that trade. They had to. When you're trading with real live people, just normal people that are in the parks or whatever, obviously there needs to be an agreement. Hey, I'm looking for this and you're looking for that. So we did Epcot. We did the newest Epcot ride, which is a really cool roller coaster, Guardians of the Galaxy themed.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
it's pretty badass. And by the late afternoon, we went over to Hollywood Studios, which is just a boat ride away. And my sister-in-law drug my wife into this area where in that park, a bunch of people gravitate towards so that they could trade Disney pins with each other. And we had a dinner reservation at like 9 or so in that park. And literally from, I want to say 4 or 5 o'clock until that dinner reservation, my wife camped out in that area.
Oh, wow.
That's her thing. It's what she likes.
Yeah. She went there like begrudgingly.
No,
She
not at
chose
all.
to be there.
No,
right.
that was. In fact,
that's what she was doing.
It was there that she learned about this off-property pin trading event that happens once a month that was actually happening that Saturday. So as a result of that confluence of circumstances, we ended up not going to any parks at all on Saturday because she literally spent from whatever time we got there till after 5 p.m. when the event ended at that hotel doing that. And then, whatever. So now we've got a schedule of when all those are. We'll probably be planning to go down there again, crossing one of those weekends so she can go to that pin trading event. The next day we did the Magic Kingdom. Then again, like I said, Saturday we did the pin trading thing. And then on Sunday, which was St. Patrick's Day, the 17th, we did the Magic Kingdom again. And I guess since Magic Kingdom is technically the dry park, you can get alcohol in the Magic Kingdom, but only at the sit-down restaurants.
Right.
Like at the other parks, you can just go up to any vendor and they'll sell beer for the most part. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, especially Epcot. There's a lot of
and
international
the pavilions have different. Yeah, people drink around
international
the world
drinking.
And stuff like that. So I think all of the people that were very gung ho about St. Patrick's Day were probably in Epcot or Disney Springs, which is their kind of, it's not
mall.
A park. It's their
it's an outdoor mall. Yeah.
Once was called Downtown Disney, but anyway.
Well, Downtown Disney
is now in LA.
And then right, it's in LA.
Yeah. They have tweaked the names of the similar things so they're different in the different places.
Right.
Because they both used to be called Downtown Disney. Now the Anaheim Park, California, is where Downtown Disney is. That similar project is Disney Springs.
Disney Springs, right.
In Florida. I think the main Yeah.
Shout out to my friends in Orlando. Shout out to our listeners in Orlando.
We got the benefit on Sunday of there not being substantial crowds in the parks, which was great.
Good.
And I was talking to a buddy of mine who goes down there a couple times a year, as do we normally, depending on my schedule, because I'm normally the limiting factor to us being down there. we've been down there now so many times. I want to say that we've been season pass holders year after year since 2016 or 2017.
Oh wow.
That, a lot of times you want to go into these places and make sure you're riding a lot of rides. For us, it's kind of like we'll saunter through the park, and when we understand that there's kind of an ebb and flow to the crowd work,
Right.
and sometimes we'll be we'll walk past something that we'll want to do, but that line, the wait time for it is higher than we know that if we come back in an hour, it'll probably be lower. So we don't get in that line. We also have developed a pretty substantial understanding within those parks for which wait times are accurate and which are not, because some of the rides just inherently move faster and others don't.
Right.
So, having an understanding of, at the Haunted Mansion, if it says 40 minutes, it's really only going to be like 15 or 20. That's a big decision maker because you're planning all of that in your mind. And I don't know that I've ever stood in a line. The Haunted Mansion's a big one. I don't know that I've ever stood in that line for as long as the sign said, unless you get in the line and there's some sort of a, shutdown that you didn't anticipate. But in a pure continuously moving, interesting. I've always wanted to have like some weird call that I answer while I'm on here.
Oh, here we go.
Hello. That one was not going to be interesting.
Did they hang up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I always get these scam calls. Who doesn't?
Right. My old friend,
I get the one,
say, our old friend Scam Likely.
and every time I get one where there's actually another person and I can mess around with them, the only thing I want is to transport in time back to the podcast, be able to answer it on the podcast.
Right.
And have that interaction on the air. We'll get one of these days. But speaking of interaction,
next episode, I will have to regale my Disney World experience. I don't know if I've told it on here yet or not, but I'll do it again. Of my 50th birthday, that me and the wife spent in Orlando, in Miami, and in Florida, going to Disney World. It was incredible. It was awesome, and I have to tell you about our one of slow park time, and we got very, very lucky based on my wife planning and me not being able to stand for really long amounts of time in lines at the time. I'll be happy to tell that story. So that's a little teaser.
Yeah,
for episode 79.
So speaking of interactions, we got some mail.
All right, let's check out some. And you communicate with big, sexy digital nomad. And now, sexy world traveler digital postcards.
Oh yeah, this one comes from Scoop Journeyman Jesus. It's titled, "Ugh, fine, I'll write you again." Hey, world travelers! I'm currently listening to episode 77, and I feel called out because you literally called me out.
True, we did.
I get so bad about responding to the podcast I write into, like I haven't responded to "Hey, buddy." By the way, great job, Brogan. Great to meet you guys again in person at the Secret Circus. I came up with Journeyman Jesus because of the alliteration for this podcast, but I think World Traveler is better listener name since it's gender neutral. Okay, I can.
Appreciate that.
Folk could work, which I don't even like to identify as a binary gender anyway, though all pronouns okay. Definitely going to get you on Outsmart Charles when I get around to making another episode of the game show. So I've recently dedicated my life to music and art, now identifying as a professional musician when asked what I do for work. I've now played 2 shows at Taverna Costera in Las Vegas, playing solo acoustic guitar, original music
Congratulations.
at the Vegas Songwriters Showcase. I'll be back on March 28th at 6 p.m. That is next week, Wednesday, I believe.
If you'd like to have any music featured here on Big Sexy Digital Nomad,
Thursday?
we'd be happy to take some and incorporate it into the show.
It might be Thursday. I don't know. I'm not looking at the calendar.
What's the date?
The 28th of March.
So the 20th is tomorrow, so that'll be Thursday.
And this explains a lot, because I found myself following on one or more social media channels Taverna Costera, and I'm like, why the fuck am I following this? Now I know why. I saw
Right.
that he was doing a show there, so I followed it.
Oh, that's you saying that. That wasn't in the letter.
Correct. Right. No. Look, when somebody who, especially in the performing arts, is performing somewhere, and I am interested in supporting that individual, I find it abundantly important to follow the social media channels of
Yes.
the venue.
Follow the venue.
And try to make it somehow clear. And this isn't, you won't always find an opportunity for this, or you won't find it right away. But anytime that venue is posting about an event that the performer who I wish to support is performing there, I make it above and beyond my effort to engage with that post. Yeah. And if I can reference that individual better.
Yeah, best way to do that, I found, is a post saying, I'm so excited for artists that I am supporting to be performing at venue I am now following. I hope the show goes great. I can't wait to see more from this artist and maybe even this venue.
Right. So yeah, I'm following them because of that. All right. So going back, March 28th at 6 p.m. live stream on the Room 6 YouTube channel. And then I did one performance of my experimental art music project at Stacy Stardust Secret Circus Las Vegas. That was the March one. Still working on editing the video of it. It's a project I've been working on for years. For the listeners, I wear a blue, furry, full head cat mask and play either guitar or piano while singing with original video behind me. For the video, I filmed a friend who is a burlesque performer, Gwen Ruby, who played the same blue cat character in one video and a girl on fire in the second.
Nice.
As I mentioned when I was aware that you'd be performing there, I can't wait to see that video.
If you get the video put together, send it to us, and we'll throw the link up on our social medias, and I'll put it in this episode retroactively.
So yeah, you can check out links to everything I do at jwreynolds.com, including my new Patreon filled with my philosophy rants and all the music stuff I don't post elsewhere. You can even follow for free and access a lot of the content, but donations are welcome, because now I'm a full-time musician, which means I don't make any money yet, hopefully. This email is too long already. I disagree. We really appreciate when you write in. Got to do some kind of long form recording podcast together so we can really get into things. I agree. That comes from Journeyman Jesus.
Awesome. Thank you, Journeyman Jesus. Yeah, seriously. So if you have music that you think would work well, either transition music or, we're looking for additional tracks. So, shout out to Froyo, who's given us so far all our music and some random drops here and there, but always looking to find new ways to plug in. And, we come up with odd, funny segments all the different times. As a matter of fact, I want to start doing more frequently on episode parody songs, like once or twice a month, do parody songs. We need background music for when we read our Patreon, right? When we have our Patreon subscribers, who we should definitely do next episode.
Yeah.
Next episode is when we read all our Patreons. The last episode of the month. And then we'll do it again on the first episode of the month. Again, it's new to us, so we're trying to figure it all out. We said it'd be perfect by episode 80. It just so happens that episode 80 drops on the first it'd be the first episode of April. So all that timing it couldn't have been better. I couldn't have scripted it. And I didn't. I just chose episode. I chose 80 as a random fucking number, and said no. And then it became a thing. So now it's a thing. So you guys are going to want to tune in for episode 80. As a matter of fact, share information, let people know, because we're going to live stream it.
We think.
And we think ideally the plan right now is to live stream us recording
we fully
episode
intend
80
to live stream it,
and with including the drawing for the ticket to Jacob's Whiskey Barbecue for Scoop Fest 2024. It is still unclear whether or not Big Sexy will be making, I'm talking about myself in the third person, whether I will be making an appearance or not at that time frame. It just so happens we may be going back to Spain May 12th, which is
right in the middle of the Scoop Fest.
It's right after. It's immediately
after
Scoop Fest. So it's almost the same as situation as you, right? Where you would go to Scoop Fest, have to come back and leave right back. And I'm not doing that to my wife. I also want to stay married. And so if I'm able to, plus getting a car to go out to Vegas is expensive. I wanted to rent a car and just go. That used to be something very easily done. Rent a car, go. It cost you like $100 to do. Now it's like $300 to rent a car and what have you. It's ridiculous. Because ideally, I would like to rent a car, go out. I would love to go out like Wednesday, Thursday, and come back on Friday. I go a Friday night, or rather come back early Saturday, and then prepare everything Saturday, Sunday, and leave or whatever. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's gonna. I was in talk with the boys to see if I could host karaoke because I thought I was going to be there. That's probably not going to happen. So you might see me there, you might not. We don't know yet. The jury's still out. But the ticket, however,
I will tell you 100%.
Is there.
I will not be there.
Right. There are some. I don't know if we've mentioned this on any posts or social media. There is a stipulation. The winner of the ticket, you also will get Big Sexy Digital Nomad t-shirt that you have to wear at the barbecue. So when you win, we will get your t-shirt size, and you'll need to wear.
How did so many people just unsend their emails? There's got
or
like
at least
4 alerts.
Or at least have it on your person. To showcase that you got the ticket through Big Sexy Digital Nomad. We need the promotion. We appreciate that, and that's a decent thank you for winning a ticket to the.
You're also going to get a free t-shirt out of it,
and you get a free t-shirt.
You presumably listen to this podcast, or you wouldn't be entered into the drawing. So
right. So
it should be a win for everyone. Oh, yep,
it's a win-win.
They just resent those emails.
Yeah. There you go.
It's a little perspective, a little realization.
Once you go, it's a win-win. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm getting a ticket and swag. I mean, you're welcome. Listeners, you're welcome. If you haven't already and you are planning to go to Scoop Fest, or if if you're going to Scoop Fest with somebody, you should probably have that person also reach out. Or if you have friends who know you are going to Scoop Fest and will give you the whiskey barbecue ticket if they win it. Again, you can game the system. Have them reach out.
Stack the ballots.
Exactly. I recommend that the easiest way, the best way to do it, other than social media engagement, either have them send us an email, or the best way is go to our Patreon at bullwiththebutthole.com and have them sign up as a free membership. Or pay. They could be a supporter of the podcast and pay as well, but they can also sign up for free. We get notification when that happens. They'll be in the Patreon. Every name in our Patreon that we know is going to Scoop Fest is getting a entry into the contest. Question, because I know that this is for you, Judgmentalists. I know that we have said that we've been doing this and we've encouraged people to enroll. And are we giving one entry for each month they've been a member since we started the contest?
Do we have the ability to track that?
I think we have the ability to track when they signed up.
Here's what I know we have the ability to do. I know we have the ability to track the paid memberships that way. So
Right.
this is what we'll do. Everybody who's a free member, you're in. Everybody who's a paid member, you're in for every month that you've been a paid member.
Like that, yes. There you go.
We've already talked about the different submissions and ways to get entries. We are going to do, the Big Sexy doesn't know this because I just made an executive decision because I'm an executive. I don't know what that means,
I
but
mean, you're co-founder of Big Sexy Digital
Right.
Nomad, the podcast.
We're going to do 3 drawings during episode 80. We're going to do the one drawing, which is for the whiskey barbecue ticket, and you're going to get some swag with it. So please, for the love of whatever it is that you do or don't believe in, respond to our emails when you get an email shortly thereafter, because t-shirt selection and t-shirt size so that it can be shipped to you timely is going to be important.
Right.
We will do 2 more drawings for swag.
Nice.
One of them is going to be exclusively that Patreon list. So if you've emailed in and you're like, you know what, one entry is good, we'll get in this other entry as well, because we're going to take of those members of Patreon, the same qualifications. Everybody's in once, and then we'll extrapolate out how long you've been a paid member if you're a paid member and give you extra entries for the paid months. That person who's drawn there, so in drawing number 2 from the patrons, entry for swag. We're also going to take the separate list that you're compiling of people who have submitted, all of which for the whiskey barbecue ticket are going to be hodgepodge together into one drawing. The third drawing will not be patrons, but will be people who have submitted since we started this contest, also for swag. So whether you make it's not going to be one of those you have to be watching the live stream to be entered. You're just entered. We will then reach out to you. If you've emailed us, we have your email address. If you're on the Patreon, you have our email address. If you have a special email address that is set up for all of your Patreons because you don't like getting those emails in your main inbox, make sure that after episode 80, you're checking that, because that's the address that we'll email to say, hey, you won. What's your shirt size? Either of those contests.
Now, I will, as an executive, I will throw one more in. We will have 4 raffles.
Oh, 4 raffles.
That 4th will be solely for the people on the live stream.
Okay.
So if you're listening and you're able to get to the live stream, hop on, share it with people. We'll share the information as well. If you're a Scoop, pay attention to Scoop Group. We'll put a post in there as well. If you're on the live stream, we will have a raffle for everybody who's on the live stream. So you want to be there as well.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, any other upcoming events that you got going on?
All the stuff as usual is at judgmentalist.com or between the number 2 minds.com.
Excellent. I want to send a
public stuff.
Yeah, before I get out of here, I want to send a personal shout out to both my friends Stephanie and Sandra. They have both friends who come out, and Rozzy. I shout out Rozzy. Friends who've come out and seen us while we were here, and Shonda. Give a shout out to Shonda as well. Shonda, Sandra, Stephanie, and Rozzy. We like that area of the alphabet apparently. Came out and they hung out with us. I've taught Stephanie and Sandra how to play Mahjong. So we have some more additional folks into the International Mahjong Butt Touching Society. Welcome to the family. And we hung out and chilled. And the big shout out to Sandra, who drove all the way in from Victorville to Riverside. It's about an hour and 15-minute drive. So driving over an hour to hang out with us really adds a special place in my heart. So once again, thank you so much for coming through, hanging out with us and kicking it. And really, really sincerely from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you helping us pass this time with socialization, because it's lonely out here in this part of California. After going through Spain and all the hustle and bustle that's in the neighborhoods that you're in, there's always people out. There's not always people outside, and it gets kind of lonely and sad out here. So thank you guys for helping ease some of that loneliness, and look forward to seeing
Hell
you
yeah.
all again soon. But folks, like like I said, go to bullwiththebutthole.com if you want to sponsor the podcast. Be sure to check us out on our social medias, at Psychic Ish for Judgmentalist, at Who Is Big Sexy for yours truly, and hit us up, talk to us. And in the meantime, safe travels.
Safe travels.